Bruce Piasecki, what are the attributes of a new world company?
Well, the first thing is they know how to respond to social urgencies. There's so many stakeholders telling these great companies what to do regarding environment, social inclusion, governance. So great companies that I write about, and there's hundreds of them, have the ability to respond, not just be told what to do.
One great company that you wrote about was Toyota. Now, I thought that you would choose Tesla because that's getting all the heat in the market over the Japanese automaker, but you chose Toyota. Why is that?
A lot of my interests in looking at the 30 years of corporate affiliates I've worked with. So I've worked for a third of the Fortune 500. What you notice is that some of them last 100 years, and the great majority of them last less than a decade. I chose Toyota to write about its inventiveness, its frugality, and its ability to improve a supply chain. So Toyota is a long-term investment, something that the great pension funds or those that are looking to hedge. So I write about sustained value, Greg. New world companies, the future of capitalism, cuts through all of the ideologies and says from a point of view of investor appeal, what's the stuff that's going to yield like compounded interest in your personal wealth in terms of stock value over time. So my book, New World Companies, creates a new lens on risk after the 2008 financial crisis. Now Toyota, when they positioned for the hybrid powertrain and sold 9 million copies of the super efficient car, they got religion about how to deal with product design in a world of 7 billion people. So my prediction is if you want to hold something in the auto space, as you should, just like you should hold something in the train space or computer chip space, what you want to do is see how big they get from 200 billion to 230 to 260 as the other autos don't respond properly to the Paris Accord on climate.
Well, one stock that's not doing so well lately is Caterpillar. In the past year, it's down around 25%. This is one of the companies you feature in New World Companies. Why do you like this one?
Well, a couple of things. Their CEO, Doug, is a remarkable cat. He's had many lives. They keep coming back. Just last Friday, I was doing a mining alliance, and Caterpillar was there. They listen to the customer, and they have customer loyalty. That is going to go far this next 2 or 3 decades in terms of stock value. Caterpillar did have to let 10,000 off. I actually like that discipline. Rather than keeping a huge bureaucracy, stock health is based on right sizing. And I call him Doug because I can't pronounce his German last name easily on TV. But he and his staff, some of which I've observed, have the ability to right size. Caterpillar has 3 other options that I think stockholders would be interested in. One is they're taking satellite pictures all around the world to find their old equipment, and they're refurbishing it with new electronics. So in the new book, I talk about Flex, another Fortune 500 as a good investment in a good new world company. They're supplying the electronic parts. So the satellite finds a truck in Africa. It's been obsolete for 20 years. They reboot it. They save 8 times the metal. So that's a company of the future.
All right, there's frugality for you. Now you are also positive, constructive on FedEx. You say that they're very good when it comes to being a corporate citizen, a good corporate citizen. What are they doing that's so laudable?
Well, a couple things. First of all, if you just take it from an empirical point of view, separating all the business ideology or the party issues, Fred Smith thought of this high-speed efficiency delivery system when he was an undergraduate. In his single lifetime, now my corporation is 33 years old, the American Hazard Control Group, and I know how long it took me to take my partners and leaders into the size of working for these Fortune 500s. Well, what this guy Fred Smith did is found a way to penetrate 185 countries with the same logistical efficiency discipline. Now, they view that as corporate citizenship. If they can deliver everybody else's business, everybody else's marriage papers, everybody else's needs, legal papers, somewhere in the world faster and more efficient and cheaper. Now, 2 other things I observe about FedEx that will help. One is they materialize products now through high electronics, so they're not using as much jet and truck fuel. That will make them a good bet compared to DHL and others. So those are the sort of material physical differentiators the book New World Companies is all about.
All right, and then finally Suncor. Now Suncor is a Canadian oil sands producer. not really great for the environment, a lot of people say. So why do you want to keep them among New World companies? Does their better corporate governance, which is what you write about in the book, trump the environmental worries?
You got to look at this new lens on risk. As I do in the book, I published the 80 asset managers that were sources for this book at the back of it. Suncor, if you measure them from an environmental, a social, or a governance metrics, have advantages in each space. Environmental, they've disclosed carbon, the first in the oil sands, the first in petrochem to do that for 10, 15 years. So they're looking at their numbers and they're improving efficiency on carbon. Second, they bought Petro-Canada in a record time, so they're truly global and not totally dependent, as the others are, just on oil sands. Third, they have great leadership from Rick George to the new guy, Steve Williams. So I think they excel on all the features I describe in my book, New World Companies. There are 6 urgencies that start the book. You don't learn about them in business school. Each of the cases that I describe have a brilliant response to those urgencies.
All right, well, thanks a lot for coming here and talking about the book, Bruce Piasecki.
Thank you very much, Greg.
And thank you for watching The Street.